Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We had a great question on one of our hover effects videos. I've got an image here. When I hover over it, it's going to have a little call to action pop in with a button and some text there. If I take my mouse off, it's going to disappear. And the question was, how do we keep this image a similar aspect on both tablet and mobile, because this is going to become a different shape on those devices, and this is what's dictating the aspect of our image behind. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. If I hit my F12 key, you'll see that this is pretty similar on all devices. Here we are on iPad 12. There's that same image there. Let's have a look on an iPad. And again, we've got a similar aspect ratio on an iPad. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work. I'll go next door here and we'll recreate this and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So I'm going to add a call to action. You can add any module you want. This will work with any module. Call to action is just very quick to work with. Let's move this out of the way. Obviously, put what you want your title to say there. Put what you want your button to say there. I know you can't see one yet. It'll appear when we put the link in. And put whatever content you want in there. Down below, we've got our link. If I put a link in, button link URL up here, the button's going to appear. Perfect. I'm going to leave it just like it is. If you want the whole module to link to somewhere, you can add another link here. And always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Great. Let's change that background color a little bit. Okay, and what I want with this, I want a hover effect that it's not going to be there. Initially, you're going to see a photo or an image. And you can see by our one next door, the image is going to have the same aspect ratio as whatever module you're using on top of it. So I'm going to go to my design there. Basically, we don't want to see this at all until we put our mouse on it or click on it on tablet and mobile. To do that, I'm in design. I'm going to go down to filters. I'm going to use the opacity filter for this today. Common to all Divi modules, if you hover up over the dark writing, you'll see some icons appear. If we've got a little arrow there, we can create a hover effect. We've got one tab for desktop when the mouse is not on it. I don't want to see it at all. And we've got another tab for when the mouse is on it, when we're hovering over it. When they're hovering over it, I want it to be fully visible. Now the time it takes with Divi to go from one to the other by default is 300 milliseconds, which is fine, a little bit quick for me. I like to slow it down for a bit of grace. You can do that very easily over in the Advanced tab, down to Transitions. I'm going to slow it down by taking my transition duration up a little bit. Whatever you want, maybe 3/4 of a second, I've got mine going there. And the transition speed curve I like to use for mine is ease in, ease out. Transition delay, I don't want any delay. I want it to happen as soon as they put their mouse on it. Great. Let's go back to here and we'll go back to our filters then. Let's flip it back to desktop mode. It should be invisible. Perfect. Now we want to be seeing an image here. How are we going to do that? Really easy. If you've seen any of my other hover effects videos, you're going to know. We're going to go into the row, the green tab for the row. We're working on column 2 here. Column 2. I'm going to go in there. Background. This is where we can place the image we want to see. Third tab along is image. Throw in the image that you want behind. Perfect. Now that's exactly what we want. Let's save this. Now if we save our changes, look what's going to happen on tablet and mobile. And we'll exit the Visual Builder. We'll go down. If I hit my F12 key, I'm using Google Chrome here. We'll roll down to where we were working. You can see that our image is squashed up a little bit there. It wants to be the same aspect, but it's not because our call to action module has spread out as it's in one column there instead of 2. If we look on our mobile phone, it's going to be too tall. There it is right there. So all we need to do is adjust the shape of our call to action module to match these devices. Now, Divi 5 is coming out soon, hopefully, and they've employed Flexbox on this. But with Divi 4, you need to make some manual adjustments. So let's do that. We'll go back in there and make it the right shape on all these devices. Let's close this tab. Going to re-enable the Visual Builder. And we'll go back down there. Now, just so you can see exactly what's going on, I'm going to bring the opacity of this back a little bit so you can see both the image and the module itself. So let's go back into our little call to action here. And remember, when it disappears, it's still actually there. It's just invisible. You're still able to click on it. It's actually there, but we just made it invisible. So we'll go back in there. I'm going to go back to my design and my filters. On the desktop version right here, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit so you can see both. Something like that. Great. Well, actually on desktop, this is looking fine, but we want to recreate that same aspect ratio with that image on both tablet and mobile. To do that, I'm going to go into my spacing. I'm going to be using padding for this. Let's go in there, hit the little icon. This time we're going to use a little mobile phone type icon. I'm going to flip it to tablet view. Just move this across, we'll roll this up a little bit. Now to make that image the same aspect as the desktop, we just need to add a bit more padding. Let's start off with perhaps 100. And with these tabs, you can have completely different setups on all these three devices here. So we're on tablet. Let's try 100. I think that's going to be too much. Not too bad, but I want the same on the bottom as we've got on the top. So it's a little bit deep. Let's take it back to about 90. I think it should be about the right size. Let's have a look at our one above. That's about right. Obviously adjust to taste. You can increment up and down and fine tune with your little arrows here. But for tablet, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. On mobile, we're going to have a slight problem. Because if I go to mobile phone view now, you're going to see that our image is too tall there. Now, padding is not really going to help us. We don't want 88, that's for sure. Let's take it back down to perhaps 25 or something like that. Image is still too tall. We want it the same aspect ratio. So what we've got to do for this is do a little bit of jiggling around with our call to action content here. And not many people know this, but it's a really handy thing to know. If we go back to our content now and to our text, we roll down, I can get rid of this text just on the mobile version to make it the right shape. You can leave a little bit in if you've got a description or something like that, but mainly we want to have the title in there and make sure they've got a call to action button. So again, we've got the body text up here. If we roll over, hit the little icon, we're on phone now, make sure you're on the phone. I can get rid of all or part of this if I do that. A little bit skinny, but we've got our title and our button there. Like I say, if I undo that, you can have a little bit of content in there if you want to, or if you need a slight description. But I think I'm going to take mine all the way. Because even with that little bit in there, we could take the title down in size a bit. It would probably be okay. If you wanted to do that, just hit the little paintbrush associated with it. I know you can't see it very well because it's halfway hidden with the opacity. Takes us straight to the title here. And on mobile, we can have a completely different size by, again, hitting the little mobile phone icon. We can take that text down in size till it fits. Now that's not too bad, actually. Still a little bit short. And you know how to fix that. We can fix that with a bit of padding. So again, still in our design tab, close up the text, go back to our spacing. Again, make sure we're on mobile. We take that padding up to maybe, I don't know, 30. And again, you can increment up and fine tune until it's exactly the size that you want it. Should be about right. So let's go back in there and change those opacity settings in the filters again. So it's the way that we want it. Desktop, I just need to take that down. And that image looks okay there on mobile. If we just save this now, it's going to go back to desktop version. So this is what we've got on desktop. This is what we've got on tablet. As you can see, when I hover over it, it's going to come in. And this is what we've got on mobile. So those images are pretty much the same aspect, and you can really fine tune and get them exactly right if you want to. Like I say, Divi 5 is coming out soon, and they're going to be using Flexbox in that, which will make this very simple indeed. Now there's one little other trick I'll show you, purely because on tablet and mobile, they're not necessarily going to know that they've got to tap on these images to make this happen. So what we can do, let's go back to desktop mode. I'm going to add a little row just above it. Click on existing row, little green button to add a row. And we use a single column. I'm going to use a little text module for mine. And in the module, way too much writing up there. Let's say tap for more information. And again, I'm going to hit the little pencil associated with that, take us straight to the styling. I'm going to make it uppercase. I'm going to pop it in the middle. Actually, let's add tap on image rather than just tap. Or tap image will do, I guess. Great. But of course, we don't want to see that on desktop because it's going to happen automatically. We only really want to see that on tablet and mobile. Very easy indeed. If we go over to our advanced now, down to visibility, we can say disable on desktop. When we're in the builder, it will just grey out a little bit. But when we exit the builder, you will not see that on desktop. But we want it visible on tablet and mobile, so we leave those unchecked. Let's save this now, make sure this is all going to work. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the visual builder. We'll roll on there. There's our two little images. They've got that little hover effect with the call to action coming in. Let's have a look on tablet and mobile now. Now you may notice it doesn't say tap on image for more information. When I go to a mobile or tablet version, here we are on iPhone 12. If I roll down, well, it says tap image for more information. They can tap on it, get the call to action up, and it should be the same on iPad also. There it is, tap on image for more information. And of course they can tap on it and get the call to action up just like that. So that is how to scale an image on tablet and mobile to make sure that it's the aspect that you want it when you're using these hover effects. Really easy to do, as you can see, no coding involved. But it's a nice little effect, especially on desktop. People are mousing around, this sort of thing happens. It's going to get their attention quickly. And of course, on tablet and mobile, they can click on stuff. So it's a nice little interactive feature too. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.